To no one's surprise, there has been a lot of Barney merchandise over the years. From the videos themselves to clothes and toys, there's no shortage of Barney bespeckled stuff. And as with anything as big as Barney, there's also no shortage of bootlegs. The knockoff costumes especially have achieved a special status in memedom, but today, let's take a closer look at some of the weirdest and unintentionally hilarious parts of Barney history, the bootleg toys and plush. Firstly, I'd like to nominate these Fisher-Price Dino Roars as honorable mentions for not being true bootlegs, but for the sheer amount of them being sold on eBay as Barney plush. From 1992 to 94, Rex the T-Rex was sold in both Barney and suspiciously Baby Bop colored varieties, alongside a few other dino species. Based on the Puffalumps, these nylon plush squeaked loudly when squeezed, and although they were released the same year Barney and Friends debuted, I'm not sure Fisher-Price was forward-thinking enough to predict just how huge BarneyMania would be. Lucky guess or not, they're still iconic in their own pillowy way. As with any bootleg, companies will change just enough about the character to make it look less like lawsuit bait. This familiar face, a bootleg by Goffa International, sports 2 large nostrils, a pair of alert eyes, and a yellow bow tie. He honestly ends up resembling the earlier Dake and Backyard Gang Barney plush shape-wise. Another one of these Backyard Gang adjacent guys is this plush by Classic Toy Co. While he does have a green mohawk and an even purplier stomach, his eyes are closer to the classic Dake and, I'm looking off to the side for some reason, heavy eyelid look. And to fully round out the Backyard Gang trifecta, there's this guy who resembles the early Gund Barneys' white mouths and soles with the addition of some orange toe spikes. I feel like this plush deserves a "you tried" sticker. Speaking of plush that tried their best, I can't help but to think of this Canadian plush that looks like this from the front and this from the side. Despite Barney's head being the shape of a lime, I do at least commend his fashion choices. A lot of these plush are nameless, generic purple dinosaurs, but our terrifying friend here does in fact have a name. This is Happiness Aid, a 1992 plush made by the Well-Made Toy Manufacturing Corporation. He comes complete with inexplicable yellow hair and lore. The back of his "I love all my little friends" tag implores you to take him with you everywhere, but especially at every meal, which begs some frightening questions about the plush's need to eat. Happiness Aid is apparently so popular that they went ahead and made a puppet version of him, mirroring the Barney plush puppets of the time. While being, perhaps, even more terrifying than the original, this puppet continues to copy Barney by having the inside pattern have illustrations of himself, which, to me, look a lot like those bedsheets with the repeating Barney pattern on them. I wonder when we'll get the Happiness Aid's World reboot. Toy company DanDee seemed to have the monopoly on making weirdly shaped Barneys. We've got a real critter of a sitting four-legged Barney, as well as this sort of Highlands-esque Barney that I keep seeing being sold as a rare Christmas edition plush. You can tell that a lot of these guys were destined to be claw machine or fairground plush, so they have a certain crunch to them. If you ever wanted to see a Barney version of the iconic glowworm plush, this is not that. Hug Me Glo Dino, not a request, just what they're called, is a 1993 plush by Soma with glowing eyes so bright they illuminate Bro's entire head. This knockoff has a ridge of spikes on his back, like plenty of other bootlegs, but he also has this weird ruffed collar that makes it look like his body is just a weird clown outfit. If you somehow can't get enough of this truly amazing design, don't worry, Soma made a whole collectible figurine set. Meet the Love Dinos, a whole family of multicolored Barney relatives complete with original illustrations. With the exception of the aforementioned clown fit, I don't think the molds of these figurines are particularly bad. If they were painted properly and licensed, they could have been okay. And in case you had any concerns, they're completely safe and non-toxic. It looks like they made at least a couple of wind-up versions of these guys as well, which I'm sure are not at all unsettling to watch lurch towards you. Speaking of wind-ups, there were a few that were modeled off of the official Barney bank molds. These two also wouldn't be so bad if they could get the color of Barney's eyelids consistent and didn't just throw his spots on his legs. No way to confirm this, but I think this weird little homunculus of a Barney squeaker toy could be made by the same folks who made the wind-ups. He has the same eyes, with the exception of his sleigh eyelashes. His head is honestly giving his Barney's World design, but I think the true highlight of horror comes from his disturbingly wrinkled skin on the bottom half of his body. It's like they submerged him in water for 3 days and said, "Yeah, that looks freaky, ship it out." I guess these guys technically blur the line a little bit between being accessories and toys, but I had to include them anyway because they are inescapable in the collecting community. These Barney figurine necklaces were sold as party favors and feature really aggressively strong jawlines that make the Barney costume from 1991 look subtle by comparison. While this one has borrowed his soulless black eyes from a Funko Pop, these blue-eyed Barneys seem to have been inspired by troll doll eyes. These are probably some of my least favorite of the knockoff bunch. Barney wasn't the only dino to get bootlegged, and this poor baby Bop figurine is a good example. Vaguely based off the Kid Dimension figurines, this baby Bop's legs are unfortunately trying to escape, and judging by her hapless expression, she knows it. You can really tell they kinda crammed a baby Bop head onto a Barney body from her feet and back spots. Justice for Frankenbop. Sometimes a plush would get re-bootlegged. 1998's I Love You Barney was a popular singing plush that was remade in 2006 and was knocked off constantly. We've got these weirdly shaped guys that sort of resemble the original version despite being branded to Colorful World, and these dudes that are closer to the later plush. Double scam points for trying to make the tag look like a Fisher-Price one. Fans of 2005's Baby Barney will be thrilled to find that the bootleggers already had that covered with this hatchling Barney plush complete with shell. Since he's a hand puppet plush, I can't help but to think he may have also been inspired by this one of Twinkin and his egg, which means we're 2 for 2 on the knockoff scale. If you've ever tried to get a hold of the frustrating more elusive plush of Riff, you have probably run into this fine set of characters. Barney, the BJ, yikes, Baby Bob, and Riff can be ordered in a set of 2,000 plush. And I mean, what a steal! Riff totally doesn't look like he's melting, and BJ definitely doesn't have a beak for a snout. Jokes aside, these guys are so hilariously stupid looking that I can't even be mad at them. Who wouldn't want 1,000 of these? Pillow Pets really embody the time they were made in, and the official Pillow Pet Barney just screams 2011. Despite taking on the distinctive tent shape that all Pillow Pets do, he looks great. The same cannot be said of the bootlegs that tried the classic Fisher-Price tag trick, despite it being made by an entirely different company, and cut off poor Barney's tail entirely. It's certainly not the most egregious design we've seen so far, but his weird shiny texture is definitely giving this odd alternative Barney suit, and not in a good way. Finally, even Barney's world isn't safe from the continuing bootleg tradition. This toothy plush that looks a lot like those scary animals from the dentist's office actually beat Mattel to the punch by releasing half a year in advance. I want to say it at least resembles the Barney's World plush design that was revealed in March, but as I look into those piercingly soulless eyes, I can't really. But I guess he gets some points for being first in line. Despite these guys being literal knockoffs, there's always been this weird sort of charm in how kooky they can be. Plenty of Barney fans have a couple of cherished Barney bootlegs in their collections, and I'm no exception. My very favorite bootleg is this little unmarked Barney who's about the size of your hand and has eyes the size of gumballs. He was a gift from my best friend, and it's really hard not to fall in love with this Muppet-looking purple creature. I guess it just goes to show you how much of an impact Barney really had on the cultural zeitgeist. Like I said at the start, this is just a fraction of bootleg phenomena. We'll cover the iconic costumes, clothes, and plenty of other dino-adjacent stuff from the dregs of Barney history in a future video. And as always, if you're looking to learn more, don't hesitate to check out my friends at Barney Wiki and Barney History Fans. Thanks for watching.